Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Way Podcast, where we learn in English poco a poco or podcast by podcast. Today, Jackie and I are going to do an example, not a simulacro, but more like an example of the B2 Cambridge speaking exam, right? So let's get started.
Bienvenido al podcast de The Way. Si quieres aprender inglés y hablar con confianza, estás en el sitio correcto. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a mejorar su inglés y alcanzar sus objetivos. Visita nuestra web theway.es para conocer más sobre nuestros cursos online desde A2 hasta C1 y descubre cómo podemos ayudarte a avanzar en tu aprendizaje. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen Language Pair cómodamente desde casa.
Okay, everyone, just a reminder that when you walk into the examination room, there are two examiners. There's the examiner that is in front of you, and that is the examiner that's going to ask you the questions. But there is another, there's another examiner that's going to be in the corner, and they are making the notes for your general marks, okay? But when you walk into the room, you say hello to both the examiners, and then you sit down and you focus on the examiner that is in front of you. Remember that in the Cambridge exam, it is you and a partner. You do one or two parts of the speaking exam alone, and then you have two other parts that you do with your partner. Okay, so Jack and I are going to get started. Jack is going to be the examiner. I'm going to represent the students, but we're going to break it down and just explain piece by piece so that we can just go into a little bit more detail. Right, Jack, I'm ready. And you?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Perfect. So let's get into speaking part one, right? Jack is going to be the examiner, and usually these are interview questions, right? Questions to help the examiner get to know you, and this is a good opportunity to use good vocabulary, right? So usually it's 2 or 3 questions, but Jack is going to maybe give 5 or 6 just to give you an idea of the different types of answers that you can do. Okay, let's start with the official example.
Good morning. My name is Jack, and this is my colleague, Steve. And your names are?
My name is Aurelia.
Can I have your mark sheets, please?
Yes, here you go.
Thank you. Now, Aurelia, where are you from?
Well, originally, I am from South Africa, but I have been living in Spain for the past few years.
Thank you. Now, first, we'd like to know something about you. What did you do on your last birthday?
That is a great question because I actually don't remember. Maybe, probably, I had a lunch with my family, and because I love the cinema, I probably watched a film with my husband.
Thank you. Now, do you prefer reading a book or watching a film when you want to relax?
To be honest, I feel that it depends on my mood. Usually, I prefer to read books because I am a book nerd. But on the other hand, watching a film at the weekend is a good way to rest my mind and spend time with my husband as well. So I would say maybe reading during the week and watching films at the weekend is my cup of tea.
Very good. And what kind of films do you enjoy watching with friends?
Oh, that's a difficult question because my type of film is quite dark. I like horror films and crime films and documentaries. But if I'm watching with a friend, probably something funny like a comedy or action.
And have you done anything special at school recently?
At school, I've been studying a lot of grammar for English, and I have been doing new types of maths in my maths class. But in general, I don't think so.
Okay, and do most of your friends go to the same school as you?
Um, sometimes some of my friends are in the same high school, but a lot of my friends in primary school went to a different high school, so I have had to make new friends.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, that is the end of the first speaking part, right? Okay, guys, let's get into speaking part 2. In B2, you have 2 photos and you have to compare and contrast. So basically, you have to find the similarities and find differences, but specifically, you have to answer a question. Now, your partner can't relax. They have to focus because at the end, the examiner is going to ask the partner a question that is related to the photos. So it goes, speaker 1 talking about the photos for 1 minute, and then speaker 2 answers the question about the photos, and then opposite. Speaker 2 answers a question for a minute about the photos, and then speaker 1 has to answer the question about the photos in general, right? So don't relax in this part of the exam. Focus and make sure you are paying attention to your partner. Right, I'm ready. Jack?
Let's do it. Now, in this part of the test, I'm going to give each of you 2 photographs. I'd like you to talk about your photographs on your own for about a minute, and to answer a question about your partner's photographs. Candidate A, it's your turn first. Here are your photographs. They show friends doing things together at school. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say why you think the friends have decided to do these things together at school. All right?
Okay. Well, in the first picture, there seems to be a group of friends or students in the same class studying for an exam, in contrast to the second photo, where it looks like students are sharing information on their phones or on their tablets. Talking about the question, why have the friends decided to do these things together after school? I would say in the first picture, it is easier to study difficult subjects like mathematics or history, where sometimes you have problems to remember or you don't understand something. Working with other people can help you understand something better, and maybe help you with motivation. On the other hand, in the second photo, maybe people have decided to do things together after school from a social perspective, so that they can spend time, make new friends, and maybe enjoy the social aspect of going to the same school.
Thank you. Now, candidate B, which of these things would you prefer to do with friends after school?
To be honest, I would probably prefer to spend time with my friends in a social activity, maybe hanging out or playing phone games together, or maybe just going for lunch, more than studying because I don't like study.
Thank you. Can I have the booklet, please?
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Now, candidate B, here are your photographs. They show friends spending a weekend afternoon together in different ways. I'd like you to compare the photographs and say what you think the friends are enjoying about spending a weekend afternoon together in these ways. All right?
Perfect. Okay. In picture number 1, we can see that there are some friends, maybe they are family, playing basketball in the park. Whereas in the second photo, we can see that there is a family. I don't know if it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and a sister, or cousins. I'm not sure, but they are also having a picnic in the park. If we have to talk about the question, what are the friends enjoying about spending a free afternoon together? When you play football or basketball in the first picture, it is a great way to be active, to play sport, and to release a lot of energy, maybe after a stressful week. In comparison to the second photo, enjoying nature, having a picnic, you have more of an opportunity to relax and to chat with your friends, maybe to catch up after not speaking for a while.
Thank you. Now, candidate A, which of these things would you prefer to do on a weekend afternoon with friends?
I am a little bit lazy, so probably I would prefer to have the picnic because I don't enjoy doing a lot of exercise, and having a picnic is a great way to make memories with friends and enjoy nature.
Thank you.
Right, and that is the end of speaking part 2. Let's get into speaking part 3. Right, everyone, this is speaking part 3. This is the first real interaction that you have with your partner. Remember that as a conversation. The examiner is not going to mark you together. You are still marked separately, but the examiner is looking for interaction. So help your partner, ask questions. Don't just wait for your partner to ask questions. It is you and your partner versus the examiner. Okay, right. Jack is going to be one of the other candidates, and we're going to speak for 2 minutes about the topic. Right, let's go.
Now, I'd like you to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. Some people think it's important to go away on holiday every year, and other people disagree. Here are some things they think about, and a question for you to discuss. First, you have some time to look at the task.
Right, so just to look at the task, the question is it important to go away on holiday every year? And we have 5 options: missing school friends, spending time with family, doing something different, being able to relax, and wasting time traveling. In the exam, you don't read this out loud. You just have time to look at the options. But just so that you and I and Jack and everybody knows that you know what we're talking about. Okay, then the examiner will say, now start.
Now, talk to each other about whether it's important to go away on holiday every year.
Okay. Jack, what is your opinion about wasting time traveling?
Well, I tend to disagree. I don't think that traveling is a waste of time. I think it can be a great way to experience other cultures and also disconnect from a daily routine, get away from, for example, the stress of work or school. So in my opinion, I think that the traveling isn't so much about wasting time. It's more of exploring new opportunities. How about you?
Um, I don't think it's a waste of time. I do think that sometimes money is a problem. So if you are looking to go on holiday to relax, sometimes it's nice to relax while going on holiday, but holidays can be stressful as well because you have to plan and think about money and make sure that you go to the correct transport, for example, the bus or the plane on time. So I think it depends in terms of being able to relax. How do you feel?
That's a fair point as well. As you say, traveling can be stressful as well. If you're going abroad, you might have to worry about remembering things like documentation, passports, etc. But I also think it's important to prioritize spending time with family and loved ones. And so, for example, spending time with perhaps grandparents or extended family
Mm.
to be able to catch up after not seeing them perhaps a lot during term time. So for me, I think that would also be a priority for me.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Spending time with family is definitely important, whether you do it at home or you do it with your family. Maybe it's different if you have children, because if you have children, having holidays is a great way to make memories with them. But do you think missing school friends is an important thing to consider?
Um, I wouldn't say so because nowadays, with technology and things like that, everybody's keeping in touch with social media and WhatsApp. So I think, and you can still arrange to meet up with your school friends. So I would say, it's not that much of a a big deal.
Okay.
Uh.
I'm going to stop Jack there just to give you an example. Jack and I spoke for 2 minutes about 4 options, but there are 5 options. If the examiner can see that you have spoken for 2 minutes, the examiner will say, "Thank you," right? And that's your opportunity to stop. Make sure that you speak about at least 4 options, 4 to 5. Don't only speak about 1 or 2 options, right? But for the example, Jackie and I only spoke about 4 options: missing school friends, spending time with family, wasting time traveling, and being able to relax. We didn't discuss doing something different. So now in the next part, we are not going to consider that option. So Jack's going to introduce the second aspect of speaking part 3.
Thank you. Now you have about a minute to decide what the best reason is for not going away on holiday every year.
Right. So I started first and I introduced the speaking part for this first aspect. So I'm going to give Jack the opportunity to start in the second part so that we are equal. We are 50-50 in the interaction activity. So, Jack, what do you think?
Well, considering everything that we talked about, I would say the best reason for not going away on holiday every year would be to spend time with family members who perhaps can't go on holiday or are too old to travel. What do you think, Aurelia?
I'm in 2 minds. For me, the 2 important aspects are spending time with family and being able to relax. But which one is best, I'm not quite sure because they both have important options. Between those 2, how do you feel?
I think now I'm swaying more towards being able to relax after what you've said. So I think I'm gonna settle with being able to relax.
Okay, so then we can agree that being able to relax is the best option on whether to go on holiday, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic. And then the examiner will say, "Thank you," and that is the end of speaking part 3. Right? Let's get into the final part, which is speaking part 4. Right, just as a something to realize, right? Speaking part 3 and speaking part 4 are always the same topic. So if speaking part 3 is about holidays, speaking part 4 is going to be about holidays. If speaking part 3 is going to be about hobbies, then speaking part 4 will be about hobbies. Now, usually the examiner does it in 2 ways. The first question the examiner will direct to candidate A and then say, "Candidate B, do you agree?" And then the same, a question to candidate B and then say, "Candidate A, do you agree?" And then a third question where the examiner will show you that you should chat together, right, about the topic. So let's do the example.
Okay, what do you think is the best place to go on holiday in your country?
In my opinion, the best place to go on holiday in my country is probably somewhere, speaking of South Africa, probably somewhere like Cape Town or going to the Kruger National Park where they can see the beauty of the country as well as all the fantastic African animals we have. Now we don't have a candidate B, so we're not going to do the example of the other candidate agreeing or disagreeing. Let's just do an example of you and me together, Jack. What do you think?
Okay, let's do it.
Choose a question for us.
In your opinion, is it more fun to go to a new place on holiday every year or go back to the same place?
I am in 2 minds because it is very relaxing and feeling safe to go to the same place every year, especially if you have a beach house or a rural house. But maybe it's also good to go to somewhere new so that people can learn about new things and new cities and the history, etc. Do you agree?
In a way, yeah, I think that both elements have their merits. I would say, yeah, definitely going to the same place every year can be like a great way to like just relax because you know where everything is, and you can even have like a community, a social group there that you can count on during the summer months, for example. But I also value the importance of exploring new places and trying new things. So I would probably say for me, it would be more fun and more enjoyable to try a new place, for example, a new country or city.
Every year.
Every year, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's more I would go to the same holiday, like holiday house every year, and maybe every 2 or 3 years, a different holiday destination. Right, guys, that is basically what's going to happen in the B2 exam. Speak clearly, speak confidently, don't repeat stupid vocabulary. No good, no nice, no I think, right? Try to pavoreal your vocabulary a little bit. In my opinion, I believe, I feel, fantastic, wonderful, great, right? Give yourself the opportunity to show the examiner your wonderful vocabulary. And if you have any questions, you can chat to us on any of our social medias, or you can contact us on our website. Otherwise, everyone, we'll see you next week.
And good luck with your exam.
Bye.
Si disfrutaste de este episodio y quieres llevar tu inglés al siguiente nivel, te invitamos a descubrir nuestros cursos online en theway.es, diseñados para mejorar tu fluidez y confianza en situaciones reales. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a transformar su aprendizaje. Visita ahora theway.es y realiza nuestro test de nivel interactivo de manera gratuita. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen de Mid-Third cómodamente desde casa.